Hey everyone, this is Akash from DronaHQ, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the transform keys function in your connectors to make your data look beautiful and how to format and modify it. So let's get started. So here I have a blank screen open right from the beginning, and what I'm first going to do is add a control to view my data. That is of course a necessity to format and modify my data. So I'm going to use the table grid control you see over here. It's the standard and flexible control for such use cases, and I'm a fan of it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. So once I click that, it pops up on my screen, and the next step is to actually go and bind the data. So I click on the bind data button over here. I go to the connectors section, and here in this section I have to choose the connector I want to connect to my table grid. So I have already configured a connector for this video, a sales database from my MongoDB account. You can of course connect it to your own database if you're interested to do that, either from MongoDB or MySQL, PostgreSQL or any other database. You can check out the link in the description. I'll attach a link to that video. So I next need to choose my query, choose the environment I want to run in, and click continue. I just have to set up a name here. Let's just say get sales data, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to get sales data from our database, and I can set the limit of how many records I want to fetch. So I'm going to just set 5. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm going to explain in this video, transform keys. But before applying any transform keys, let's just finish the process and see if our data looks already well. So API name already exists. Let's just name this get sales data 2. Awesome. So that's it. We've added our connector, and here if I go in the select keys section, I can choose the rows I want to display on my table grid. So let's just choose everything that makes sense. Product name, region, top month, and revenues for the 4 quarters. Alright, and I just have to scroll down and click on save to save my work. Once it gets saved, ensure it's saved. The project also is saved, and if you preview it, let's have a look at how it looks. Give it a minute, it's loading. And awesome, it's loaded, and you can see all the rows have been displayed which we've selected. It's displaying only 5 rows because we set the limit as 5, and it's displaying all the columns that we have requested it to. It's working awesome. So one quick hack is, if you're like me and you're a stickler for clean minimal look and you don't like this column header, a quick hack to change it is this long messy column header. You head over to the custom formula section and click edit. This is the actual formula which gets generated in the backend, and here you get an option to change the header labels. So I can now change it to whatever I want. So maybe product name, I'll change it to product name. I'll keep it just region instead of this long messy stuff, and I'm just going to do save and validate for now. We'll just change 2 columns to show you that it actually works, and you can go ahead and change and customize it all you want later on. So you can see these 2 headers have been changed. So coming back to the topic at hand, what is transform keys and how do you apply it? So transform keys is when you have some data you're fetching and you want to modify it a bit before showing it to the end user. You want to apply your custom logic, change and format the data a little bit before showing it to the end user. Let me show you an example use case and then you might understand better. I click on this button here. I go to my transform keys and I add a key. So let's say the month which is being displayed, I don't want to display the whole month. I just want to display the first 3 characters because it makes sense, because it's a common use case, and because I just want to show you how the transform keys work. But let's just say I want to do that much. I just make a new column called month, and on that column I use a function called left which picks up the left side of the string and omits the other details. So which columns left side I do want to pick up it's the top month. So I write the keyword output. All fields can be accessed using the keyword output, and I just find the column I want and click enter. And how many characters do I want to access? The first 3 characters, because that makes sense. I have the month column and I want to display only the first 3 characters of the month. So I click finish to save it, and that's it. My work is done. Now here I can actually remove the top month column, and instead of that I can add the column I've just added, the new month or the updated month, and I click on save to ensure that my changes get saved. And after that I can preview it, give it a moment, and you'll see that hopefully the changes will take place. And yep, if you see on the right hand side, you can see the new month column with the updated month names with only 3 characters, and everything looks fine. So this is a trivial use case which I just came up with on the spot and showed you how you can actually use the transform keys to modify your columns to make it more presentable and user friendly. But let me explain you an actual use case where you can appreciate how this will help you. So for example, now we have the sales data of 4 quarters, how much sales has happened in each quarter. And now if you want to display the average sales, for example, you're just showing this table to some user and you also want to display the average sales along with each of the product. So normally how you would go about doing this is go to your original database, modify all the records there, add a new column, and then for each of this column compute all the values again. It's gonna be a mess, especially if you have a long data set where it increases the time taken and the complexity for calculating for each of the record. It's a pain. But this is where transform keys comes to help you. So now with transform keys, you can quickly just head back over there again by clicking this button over here, and let's add a new transform key. What should we call it? Let's call it average revenue. And what are we going to calculate? The average, right? So I'm going to use another function called divide, which you guessed it allows you to divide 2 quantities. So what's the first quantity? It's the sum of all my 4 revenues. So again, everything is accessed with the output keyword. So output dot revenue q1. Now just copy this for easy access. So I'm just going to copy this so that it becomes easier to edit later on. And so output dot revenue q1 plus, just paste it, and q2 plus, paste it, and q3 plus, paste it, and q4. So we have added everything. Now we want to divide it by the number 4. That's how you calculate average, sum of all quantities divided by number of quantities. So I update it and I finish it. Hopefully all goes well. Now I have to update my connector list here, and I want to add the column I've just added, average revenue, so that it shows in the table grid, and I just click on save. This should get saved, and if I preview my data now, I should be able to see the updated changes. Awesome. So I get the month here and I get the average revenue. So this is how you use transform keys to format your data, modify it, and make it beautiful, and most of all save time. So I hope you found this video useful and learned something out of it. And well, stay tuned to learn more tips and tricks on how to use our platform DronaHQ. See you later.